Welcome back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to part 2 of my experiences as a new gardener. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am a beginner gardener and I have a small space, and I am taking you guys along with me as I learn how to grow my own harvesting, from floral to vegetables and fruits. If you haven't already, follow me in my social media linked above. Please do so. Also, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you haven't turned on your post notification bell, hit that button at the bottom right, because I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. All right, let's get into this video, because today, guys, let's get into this video. So today in this video, I will be talking about all of the cons I go through in my experience in gardening. So I gotta get some more water, because listen, guys, I have a mouthful. Let's talk about my first and biggest con, and it's how expensive. Oh my God. Let me repeat myself. How expensive it is to freaking garden. Guys, if y'all know me, watch back in a video or 2 or 3. I had showed you guys how many seeds I have. Okay. And listen, I'm going to tell you like it is. The expensiveness is not just the seeds alone. I'm talking too much. Let me just... This is so embarrassing. Y'all see this? Hold on. I didn't say I was done, baby. I'm not done. This right here was $6 and change. Not a lot. No, it's not. However, maybe you didn't see it. It's just walking across. Oh my God. Hold on. I ain't done. Guys, when I say some of these seeds aren't from the dollar store, they're not. I get seeds all over the place. For instance, this right here alone is $3.99. With tax, it's probably like $4.25. This right here, $2.99, $3.39, $1.99, $3.79, $3.09. I think the most expensive seeds in here I have is like $4 or $5. This shit goes on and on, baby. It goes on and on and on and on. Like, and that's just seeds. That doesn't, listen, that does not talk about the amount of soil. Let me just put this up because it's embarrassing. My soil. I have gone through different variations of soils to figure out what works best for me. I started off with, I guess, regular organic vegetable cotton soil or whatever soil, right? For container growing, in-ground and out-ground, indoor and outdoor, container growing. However, it did not have what I need to make sure it had enough airiness or fluffiness to have good drainage. So I then started buying peat moss. I started buying perlite, and then I started buying fertilizers, organic grown fertilizer or organic brand fertilizers to help with the promotion and the nutritious pH balance in my soil. That was a start. And I have a tub outside, so I had to buy them in 2 to 4 bags at a time, and they're not cheap. Alright guys, sorry, my daughter bought me ice cream. I did not know this was gonna be a mukbang, but okay, I'm happy. Soil can be very expensive. So when I started off, the bags used to cost me about $13-14 a bag, and I would have to, I'm gonna say 15, because it was like between $13 and $15 a bag, right? However, sometimes I would have to buy at a time 4 bags, and then go another couple of weeks and buy some more bags. So I was spending about $100 on just soil, if not more. That excuse me, that does not include the extra additives that I had to add in it. Okay, now that I found a location, and I gotta drive about 45 minutes depending on traffic to go get it, I switched over, which I have in another video, what soil I'm using for my gardening, and it cost me about $25 a bigger bag, but it has perlite, it has peat moss, and it has composting, chicken composting, and other things in it that is very beneficial. But again, it's expensive, and I typically have to do 2 bags at a time when I go down there. Unless I have soil here at the house, then I'll buy 1. So we talking about $50 right there. I literally just bought some more things, which again y'all see in another video, of extra fertilizers that I add into my garden. Yes, that was a deep sigh because it's so freaking expensive. And that's just soil. So we talked about seeds, we talked about soil, fertilizers, pots. It's an expensive ass hobby. For my floral out front, I spent, and that's just in that started. That doesn't include all the times I spent just in that almost $200. Actually, it was a combined. Yeah, it was about $240. That was just one time. Times before I spent about $100 something. Every time I have to buy for my garden at a minimum $150. Easy, hands down. Another con that I've experienced, and this goes into talking about expensive, is learning which containers work for you. Learning the containers that work for me. Okay. I started off going to the dollar store. I would see their Potter containers. Granted, they're okay, and I showed y'all some of them that I had some of my things in before I moved them into bigger containers. However, eventually I moved them to bigger containers. So it gets expensive. I did find a place about a 35-minute drive from my house where I can get the 5-gallon food graded buckets, and because I found this person through Marketplace, they only charge $4 a bucket. Good, that's good and dandy. I purchased 12 of them, so I spent about $40 something, I think, can't remember, on that alone. It's not a lot, but it adds up. It adds up. I also have to learn, or for myself, I had to learn what foods need what. My bigger containers or my bigger pastas in the front of my house, they were a bit more expensive. I spend $20, $30, $40 on those because they're bigger and it's for my garden, for my floral, for my centerpieces, for my front patio. Ones in the back, nah. So yes, those are some things there that I had to learn about containers. Another thing on a con, baby, these pots get real heavy. Heavy. Like, it's a lot of work. And they are heavy. You have to factor in, you have product in them. And I'm just talking about doing my garden in a bag, not my floral. The floral, I gotta push because they just too damn heavy to pick up. I'm actually probably gonna have to rearrange them anyway because I feel like some is getting too much sun and whatever. But I digress on that. The ones in the bag, they get heavy when you fill them up with soil and they're wet. You know, the soil is wet. So it's just all of that. The things you have to. This is a workout. It's a whole workout. Let me finish this and get back. Okay. So if you see my pros video, there are some good benefits in growing in containers. However, the con with that is container growing, your water dries up, so it dries out so fast. Like, so fast. You are going to have to water your plants so much faster than you would if it was in the ground or in like a bed or a raised bed. You truly have to, especially containers. Container growing, it just, like, as you saw at the beginning of the video, you see how my crops are looking. I'm probably going to have to go through them. If by tonight, because like I said in my previous video, I have to treat it as if they're sick, right? So I already did one session of it. I'm going to water it again tonight with aspirin and sugar to help promote its health back. If some of them don't make it, then again, these are the cons in it, taking it as a loss. And it is a loss. It's a loss financially. It's a loss in time and everything. But we're going to go through a bit. I'm going to go through a video so we can understand during the seasons what's best to start sowing your seeds and whatnot. But again, it's all in what it is. It's life. You know, you go through having plants with diseases that you're going to have to cancel out, or withering, the heat damage. It's just so much. Anyway, that's another thing. Another thing that is a con for me is plants get root bound. And what I mean by root bound, for those who don't understand, you're in a container. The roots got to go somewhere. They can't go anywhere else but in a container. So they start wrapping themselves around where you see the bottom that the root is just circled and circled and tightly circled. It's because they have no way to venture out, as if they were in ground, or I'm guessing in like a bedding situation. They can move around. These roots are stuck. So depending upon the size of your container and the roots, how they grow, it's going to decipher how big your crop is. So those are some things to look forward to. If you have to start off in a smaller container and it starts to get root bound, then you're going to have to repot it into a bigger one, and then a big one, so you can get the full benefits out of growing your seeds or your fruits or vegetables, whatever you're growing. You're gonna have to deal with that. So those are some things that are truly cons. It's a lot of work having to repot, especially if they're already a massive amount of size. Some things repotting can take a hiccup or take a toll on your roots and your crop. For instance, my zucchinis out there, or my squash, the first part of the video on the top half, those were my squash. They're taking a hit right now because of, one, the heat, and then I had moved them and repotted them, refertilized their soil, and they're like, no type of energy. So they're a little bit bitter and I'm dealing with it. So that's why I'm treating it as if they had like a headache or something. Sugar is going to promote their energy, give them that boost of energy. And then the aspirin is, if they cut themselves type of, what I'm saying? If you're in pain or whatever, I'm treating it like that for them as well. So that's what I'm doing with, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to fix something. There we go. With my plants out there. However, again, I cannot water my plants right now because it's too damn hot. One thing I wrote in here is buying seeds been expensive. I talked about that. Seeds are expensive. Another thing that is a con for me is needing fertilizer and knowing what fertilizer you need and the price on that fertilizer. Like, fertilizer is not cheap. I brought bigger bags of fertilizer, but they were like $20-something a bag. Granted, it's a bigger bag than what I usually buy, the smaller size, but it's still a price. Things I still deal with, whether I'm in a container or not. I know a lot of people deal with it in ground gardening, are bugs and rodents. I deal with that. It's not as bad. I know a lot of people deal with the natural elements of the animals. People have rabbit issues, deer issues, squirrel, stuff like that. I don't have that because I'm container growing. However, with my lettuce or my leafy things, I get the little green bug things, or like, I don't know if y'all seen in some of my videos where y'all see like the little white specks or the little white trails of stuff. I get those bugs that it's just like, come on, guy, you fucking up my plants. Like, they eat it within. You know what I'm saying? They sit there and they just damage my property. It's my property because it's my freaking heart, my garden. It's mine. And sometimes it can cause diseases or whatever. So I have to start my crop all over again. So yes, those are cons that I'm going through. One of the things that is a con, I'm going to say for everybody that, and this is as a new gardener, it's a lot of goddamn work. Like, it's not at all a put your seed in whatever you're going to grow it in, water it, and poof, you have harvest. Absolutely not. It's not that easy. Whoever told you that, they lied. They lied. It's hard freaking work. And it's a lot of work. Oh, child. I deal with my garden every day. That's it. That's all I gotta say. All day. Even during the middle of the day, I'm like, oh, child, look at the sun being disrespectful. I need it, but it's harsh. But I'm dealing with my garden all day. It's work. It's a lot of work. So be prepared. Be very, very prepared. Some things that I, at the beginning, did not know that I am better at now is not knowing what to do when your crop is sick or have a disease or stressed out. Beforehand, I did not know, guys. Oh, my first season was horrible. Like, I was livid. I almost tapped out. Not kidding. The first year of doing a garden, and I didn't do floral. I literally just did vegetables. I had a lot of shit. Like, I was buying. I was going in. It was doing good. And then I get within, I want to say the second week of June, like the beginning of the summer, we got heat, heavy heat. I was getting pests, diseases, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do, right? Everything died. Everything. Going into July, I was starting to see some things, but July, August, I just couldn't. I couldn't take it. I crashed out. It was hard as hell. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I did not know what to do. I did not do my due diligence. I did not research. I just looked at videos. Oh, I can do that. Oh, it's just this. You just no, baby. No, I did not know what to do. My second year, I dialed it back real fast because it was just mad expensive. I started growing a couple things, literally 4 things. That was it. And I was doing good. It was easier to maintain. It was still a lot of work, but it was still easier to maintain. It got me through about 4-ish and a half months once I start harvesting. It was good. It was good. But I took from that time to the second year season to research. I started evaluating what I want. I have different types of lettuces. I love lettuce. I love salads. I have different types of carrots. I have different types of beans. I love it all. I brought what I love. It might be different variations of them, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I did a lot of research, a lot of learning my soil. I mean, a lot of research on soil maintenance, on the pH balance of soil. I did so much research from my first 2 years going into my this year that I'm in now. I even started the end of the second year to winter sow, which I love winter sow. We're going to have a video when we can do that as well. And that was so fun. So yes. I now know-ish what to do when your crop is at its breaking point and there's a disease. You really have to take it as a loss, because what could happen is it could affect the soil and the rest of your crop. If it is just starting, if it's damaged all of your crop, just discard it. I mean, don't continue with it. Don't do anything. And then you can burn off the top of your soil, scoop that out, and basically rehydrate by fertilizing it, giving it its nutrition values or anything you need to promote its next processing health, and start all over again. That's just what it is. Another thing is mulch. Mulch can be your kryptonite and your savior. You know what I'm saying? Like, too much of it is too much, because now you're retaining the heat. But a good amount, like it's like a middle ground. You have to know what's a good amount to put that can retain the moisture but not cause too much like heat. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the corn comes in as well. Stressed out or hot heat or over watering your plants, guys, absolutely, it can do so much damage, which is what y'all saw in the beginning of the video. My plants are taking a toll. It is. And it's crazy because I've been working with them for a minute, and yeah, I mean, just what, a video or 2 back, my corn was striving. Now it's like it's whatever. So what I am going to do with the corn, though, I am going to see if I can find a corn that doesn't take the longevity of time to go through planting, sowing seeds up until harvesting. I think that one is like 100 and something days, so that's why it's taking forever. But I've seen corn that could take 45 to maybe 80 days of, full harvesting and everything. I'm going to look and see if I can find it, and I will probably, which I'm kind of disappointed. It is what it is. I might have to chuck up that corn if it does not do anything within this week here of going through it and watering and reviving it. Then I am going to take it as a loss. I'm not going to discard my soil because that's some good ass soil. I will not. But Another thing that's a con is fighting different weather conditions. Again, it all goes back to the heat. Within these last 2 weeks, we went through an enormous amount of rain, drowning my plants. I mean, literally drowning my plants. Even with the drainage, it's so much freaking water. And then we'll get heat, humidity, almost 3-digit temperatures or close to it. Even in the 90s, it feels like it's 110 outside with the humidity. It's just unreal. So again, these are cons that a lot of gardeners go through, especially around this time. We're still in the heat of the weather, and it's just crazy. For those fighting the wildlife, eating your crop, I don't, again, have wildlife eating my crop besides like the bugs. The people have to deal with deers, rabbits, squirrels. I haven't seen a squirrel. That's a good thing. I'm gonna knock on wood because I haven't had issues with squirrels. Now, because we do have squirrels, I believe we have. I haven't seen too many back there, but I know a lot of people go through that. One of the things that I can say all container gardeners go through is building up its nutritious value and it leaving it there. I can build up the pH balance or the vitamins or whatever I need in my soil, in my containers, but I have drainage holes. So when I put my drainage holes in there and I build up the nutritious factors I needed for my soil and then I water it, it basically drained it out. It is what it is. I can't divert around it. It's going to do that regardless. So that is one of the hiccups in growing a container, which is why you really, really, really have to decipher when, if you want to be a container gardener, do you want to be an in-ground gardener, or do you want to be a raised bed gardener? It's just so many, variations of gardening you can choose to. I cannot be an in-ground gardener at all because, one, I don't have grass or soil back there. I don't. It's all concrete. So I have to do container growing. The only thing is decipher which container works for me. This is the container that works for me. The reason I've heavy fertilized my product the way I do is because I have drainage holes, and I know as soon as I water it, it's going to drain out. It is what it is. Yeah, there's no way around it at all. One of the last and not least thing that I think a lot of us as container gardeners go through is knowing that with container gardeners, in the cold, they heat up. I mean, not heat up, they cool down. That's what a container does. It cools down because there's no ground surface that can keep it like snuggled or anything. And so your soil, it heats up, cools off. I'm sorry. And then in the summertime, it heats up. It is what it is, right? So those are my cons in growing and being a container gardener. That's frustrating, guys. When I say it's very frustrating, it's so very frustrating. But with that being said, I still appreciate container growing, because even still, like, I could buy a greenhouse to put my stuff in. Granted, it's not going to 100% help much, but it'll help some. There's some things I can aid that I am researching for like the heater, the warm times. I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is get a like a net, a garden net. I don't know. The thing is, some garden nets don't really. Sorry, there was a fly flying around me. Help much with heat. It aids towards like bugs. You know what I'm saying? So it's really trial and error. It is really trial and error. Now, the thing that's going to get me the most with this right now, what I'm going through with this heat, is I'm going to have to start a lot of my stuff over. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I've done enough yapping. If you haven't followed me on my social media listed above, again, please don't forget to follow me on my social media. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And don't forget to hit that post notification bell at the bottom right. What that does is it notifies you when I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, woo, we got through this video. I love you guys. I see you in the next video. Bye.